Thank you. Well, if you can actually get to court, because there's this legal court backlog, it's hit a record high of 65,000 cases. And on the tougher end, I didn't even think about that. How many, there's so many people on remand waiting for their court case to come up.
Yeah.
And they haven't been, they could be innocent. There's lots of them who are innocent, might lose 3-4 years of their lives. No compensation or anything. It's just like, oh, that's all right. And when they come out of jail after 4 years, they're just kind of thrown out onto the streets. They don't have all the backup services and people helping them. And even
absolutely.
Nothing like that. It's dreadful.
Yeah, I was talking with your exceptional producers earlier, Trisha, and I was telling them a story about a couple of clients of mine. We're acting in that patisserie Valerie false accounting case.
Right.
It's been 5 years for my client waiting for a decision on charge. And you'd think, well, at least he knows that he can now look at it in the face and see how he's going to deal with it. It's going to be another 2 years now before the case even gets to court, if it's efficiently dealt with.
Wow.
You know, that's a fraud case. But, you know, sometimes these cases are ones involving alleged assaults, God forbid, sexual offences. Loads of these cases are sexual offences cases because the suspects, the defendants, aren't always on remand. It means in those cases that they are not as prioritised. Now, it's all very well saying, well, from a defence point of view, your client might have done it. And some people may take that view. Of course, I take the view that you're innocent until proven guilty and you should be treated as an innocent person and the state should behave responsibly to you in terms of timetabling a chance for you to answer the case. But what about victims as well? What about people who are waiting? I was going to say, if you've got somebody walking around
so if you're on, you're not in remand, you're on bail or something like that, and it's a sexual case and what have you. So you could be walking around for 2, 3, 4 years. And you probably, because most people who are sexually assaulted live in the vicinity of the person, so you're still seeing that person every day.
Absolutely. And the idea that bail conditions are an adequate remedy for that when we have the most underfunded police force that we've had since certainly before the 1980s period. Too many cases are reaching court. That's part of it. Every time a government, for example, Rory Stewart, the kind of right of centre, great liberal thinker really on the right, he was a prisons minister and said we're going to try to send fewer people to prison as a way of dealing with the prisons crisis. It immediately evaporates once there's a cabinet reshuffle. You know, so many cases involving drugs and alcohol. We need to really renegotiate our attitude to the war on drugs because it's a war that doesn't exist. If you want to get drugs in a major city, you can phone and a taxi driver will deliver them to you.
Yeah, we're going to be talking to the first legal sort of drugs in Scotland where people can take drugs safely. But it's going to be interesting because getting the drugs, they can be still done and criminalised, taking the drugs to the legal place. So it's a minefield.